Well, hey there, welcome to Hiker Homily number 50. Number 50. Number 50.
Number 50.
Number
50. 50. 50. Wow, 50. 50 Hiker Homilies this year. Yeah, it's not too bad. And I'm filming this particular Hiker Homily number 50 on New Year's Eve day. So almost Happy New Year. We're close to 2019, and 2019 is going to be a pretty big year for me, hopefully for this channel, and just kind of my family in general. Yeah. So looking forward to it. 2018's been interesting, and that's kind of what I was going to do real quick. Hopefully this doesn't take long. I know I always say I'm going to try and keep it short and not ramble, and I usually do, but we'll try and actually keep it short this time, because I usually do ramble. But kind of a quick year in review for number 50. And the biggest event, I think, hiking-wise, we're talking hiking. A lot of stuff going on in my my family life and personal life and things like that. But I don't need to go into it here on the hiking channel. So hiking-wise, I think the biggest event was the Lost Coast Trail, and that was in June of this year. I did a lot of interesting day hikes. Got out some up into the hills and did some cool stuff there. But I think the Lost Coast Trail was the biggest one, and you know, those videos are available if you want to see my full video reports. Some technology didn't quite work 100% on the Lost Coast Trail, so I do have some good shots of the trail and things like that, but not necessarily a whole lot of me doing actual reporting from the trail. There's some of that, but you know, the videos are there if you want to check it out. But that was the trail that really, man, it set back my my thinking on certain things and how I'm going to do certain things, you know, because it was a challenging trail. But now that I've had time to really think about the challenges were not really 100% physical. I actually overcame some stuff. I mean, the hiking was tough, but I did it. I got it done, and I was tired at the end of the days after hiking, and we were only doing, like, you know, 8-mile days and stuff. But 8 miles on boulders and sand and things like that, it really works on you. So yeah, I was tired and stuff like that, but it wasn't like this horrendous, I just can't go on type of thing. I think the part about the Lost Coast Trail, I think that put the pressure on me is if you've paid attention to my channel and you've heard me say it before, I am not a fast hiker. I have never been a fast hiker. I like to go at a semi-leisurely pace. If I have to pick up the pace, I can. But as far as just having a good time, that's what I'm out there for, to enjoy and to see things. And I do notice on some of my day hikes, I'm not trying to ramble, but on some of my day hikes, I do notice that sometimes, especially with the hiking club that I join sometimes, there's plenty of folks in the club that get to the halfway point where we're going to stop and take a break and eat a long time before me and a couple other people in the group. And when we finally get there, they're already taking a break and stuff like that, and you know, everyone's friendly and stuff like that, but you ask them, oh, did you see such and such? Oh, no, I didn't see that. How about da-da-da-da over there around that corner? Did you see the little, he was by the log, the little critter was by the, no, I didn't see that. And I'm not insulting anybody. I'm not, you know, putting them down or anything like that. People hike their hike, and that's what it, you know, pace is one of those things where hike your own hike really does apply. But it just seems like there are people out there who, I mean, we get together as a club to do these trails. Shouldn't we be enjoying the trails? Is it supposed to be a race? Are we, and it's like nobody really, projects that attitude. They don't tell you, let's go, I'm going to beat you there. They don't have that kind of attitude at all. But it just seems like there are folks out there who just do these trails just to do them. Okay, checked it off. We've done this trail. Check mark. But they really didn't see the trail. They just like, okay, I'm going to get out there. Bam! This was the we're aiming for such and such falls or such and such spot by the river. Here I am. Quick bite to eat. Heading back out. Woo! We did the trail. It just, for me, that's just not hiking. For me, hiking, and again, like I say, hike your own hike. You want to go fast, go right ahead. No, I'm not telling anybody to slow down. I'm just saying that for me, if I'm going out there, I want to just enjoy the sights and see things, and if that means, it takes me longer to get to whatever point we're trying to get to. Oh well, the time I've had on the trail getting there is why I'm out there. And so, getting back to the Lost Coast Trail. I think that's why the Lost Coast Trail rankled me and kind of took me off my game. Was there are parts of that trail. There's parts of it that are very beautiful, absolutely, and I did enjoy them. But then there are also large parts of the trail. Almost half that trail are in what they call the tide zones, and I think I talked about this on some of the videos. But those tide zones take away all choice. Whether you're a slow hiker or a fast hiker, you must do those tide zones in a certain pace depending on when you start them. If you start them right as the tide is receding, that gives you 3 or 4 hours to get through these. Some of the bigger ones are 4 miles long. 4 mile long tide zone, and you're doing it all on very tough gravel, and not the gravel like I'm talking about, like on a gravel road, thick gravel. That's like walking in heavy sand that just, pulls you every time you step on it. It's hard to walk on. Walking in sand for that long, I mean, it's not a stroll on the beach. And sometimes you're actually boulder hopping and things like that, so you have to watch for ankles and things and boulder shifting. Excuse me. So you're doing that for 4 miles with this constant pressure in the back of your head that you have to get through here, because what you're walking on right now in a certain amount of time is going to be 4 or 5 feet underwater, if not deeper, and waves crashing in. So your whole choice is gone. You have to be at a certain pace whether you want to or not, and in tough walking terrain, like I said. So that makes is what makes the hike tough, because people look at it on paper. I know I did the same thing. Look at it on paper. Oh, it's a little over 20 miles, man. There's through hikers that do that in a day, but 20 miles, 21 miles or so in 3 days. That's a cakewalk. It's no problem. That's easy to do. Let's do this. But then you get in that terrain that you're dealing with, and the fact that you couldn't do it in 1 day, no matter what good shape you're in, because those tide zones are going to lock you out. You're going to have to, you might get through that first big tide zone. There's a small one, then there's a first big one. So you may get halfway through. You could probably do it in 2 days if your pace is good enough and stuff like that. But you're not going to do it in one, because eventually you're going to run into one of those big tide zones and not be able to get past it, because it's too late to try and cross it. So that was an eye-opener for me. It really made the difference, but it also kind of helped solidify. Now I'm proud to have finished the Lost Coast Trail. It was a great hiking trail to do. I really enjoyed it. It's a point of pride for me that I can say I did it. I hiked that trail. But I'm looking forward at the Pacific Crest Trail, thinking of the Lost Coast, Pacific Crest Trail, and I'm realizing that I'm going to have to take any of those pressure, because it was on my mind. Oh man, if the Lost Coast Trail got under your skin like that, what's the PCT going to do? And I'm sure there will be different ways that it's going to get to me. I know there are mental challenges coming, and I'm going to talk about those in my actual PCT videos. But for Hiker Homily, I think the big thing that I came out with it was for the PCT, I'm going to do it at my pace. I don't care. I watch a lot of big time YouTubers, YouTube hikers who put their stuff out there, who do crush these 20, 25, 30-mile days, and it's awesome. It's great watching them and stuff like that. I have no desire to emulate that. I do want to emulate the fact that they're walking the PCT. I want to do that too, but I'm not going to do it like them. I'm going to do it like me. And me is going to start out with minimum 10-mile days. And if that's all I ever do, then that's what I'm going to do. 10-mile days. And again, I'll talk about logistics and my schedule of what I'm aiming for in the PCT and my actual PCT videos. But that's what I'm going to start with. And then if my body gets into that and just fine, I'll try and up it to 15-mile days. And if I ever make 20-mile days, great. I'll start doing 20-mile days. But I'm not going to push that, and I'm not going to have this weight on my mind saying you have to do this. Because then I'm not having fun hiking anymore. And so why am I out there? I'm out there to enjoy. I'm not out there to check mark the Pacific Crest Trail. I'm out there to see the Pacific Crest Trail, and I'm going to do that by doing, 10, 11-mile days. And if I start going faster, then that's going to be because my body has told me, hey, we're ready to do this. We can go faster. But it's not going to be because I have this schedule in my head that says I must do this by this time. I'm just not going to do that. And part of that is it's a luxury I have because, and again, I'll talk about this more in the actual PCT videos. I'm not going in with the mindset of I have to make it to Canada. I just don't have that mindset. I'm out there to have a good time, and I'm going to have a good time for as long as I can. And if I do get to a certain point where, oh, this is impassable, or I just don't want to do this anymore, I'm missing the family and stuff, I can go and get off the trail, have fun with the family and stuff, and I can get back on the trail some other time in the year, or do it again next year from where I left off. I am not under some kind of pressure to do this official thing, because guess what? There's no regulations. There's no official rules. The PCTA is a private organization, and they can go ahead and say what a through hike of the PCT is, but there is no law whatsoever that says if I hike it this many times in a 2-year span that I can't tell people I walked the PCT, because I did. And, if that doesn't mean I'm an official through hiker to some, that's okay. Those some can go ahead and have that opinion. Good for them. But yeah, the Lost Coast Trail was an eye-opener, and that was probably the biggest thing. Then I had a interesting Sierra hike with the Boy Scouts. It was a 2-nighter that turned into a 1-nighter thanks to a thunderstorm, and the kids decided they didn't want to ride it out, so we headed out. That made for a long hiking day, but we still had a good time. They all came back talking about what an adventure it was. So that was pretty good. So I did my share of backpacking this year. Definitely did some camping, and looking forward to more good stuff next year, 2019. Looking forward to the Pacific Crest Trail, and I think that's going to be Hiker Homily for this number 50. But yes. 2018 down, 2019 here we come, and we'll see what goes on, and we'll see you next time.